Good morning, everyone. On today's show, we've got some interesting game news updates. In addition, we're going to talk about the results of a poll that you voted on overnight to determine what's the next game you're interested in seeing to celebrate my upcoming 15th anniversary here on YouTube. Plus, is Street Fighter 6 ranked play once again today? All this and more in just a bit. Hello, everyone. It is Wednesday, which means it is my final consecutive streaming day of the week. Today is Wednesday, the 19th of July, 2023. Of course, I'm Darkside Phil, and I welcome you here to the show. How is everyone doing today? I hope that you're doing well, and I hope you're ready for some variety here on the final day of streams for the week. It's been a fun week of progress and variety and good stuff all around. And, of course, I'm happy to bring more of that to you today. A lot to talk about today. There's a few game news stories that I'd like to give you big updates on that are kind of cool. But in addition, as you guys know, right around the corner coming up in August is going to be a big celebration of my 15-year anniversary as a YouTube content creator. And with that is going to come some special festivities. One of the things that we're talking about is doing some retro throwback playthroughs. And what I wanted to do on the spur of the moment kind of last night before I went to sleep is post up a poll and gauge your interest overnight on what you'd like to see more right away. Now, good news is we're in no rush, and that poll just went live overnight. If you didn't have a chance to vote on it yet, you still have a chance to vote on it. It's posted right here on the community tab of DSPGaming's main channel page. So if you haven't seen the poll yet, I urge you to go vote. We're going to talk about the early results of that poll in just a second, but that's just one of the many topics that I'll be covering today on the show. So how is everyone? Are you good? I hope I find you well. Final streaming day of the week for me. Tomorrow I'll have a day off. And unlike last week, thankfully, tomorrow will be a relaxing day. Last week was the complete and polar opposite. My day off already was going to be stressful because I had a lot to do. And then on top of that, having one of the worst vet visits I've ever had in my life just compounded the problem. I'm happy that's all behind us now. And now I can have a more relaxing day with my family tomorrow because I really need it. I need to unplug and just, have a good time with Kat and Jasper and have some good food and, I don't watch some stuff. Maybe my wife will play a new game or something and I'll be able to, watch her play and, join in. I actually like that. I like when she plays a video game and I get to sit there and kind of watch her play and chime in on what's going on in the game and stuff like that. It's very entertaining and also very fun to share a gameplay experience, with your significant other. So it should be pretty good. I'm hoping to have a more relaxing day tomorrow to unwind. And, of course, next week coming up, we got more good variety of stuff coming up. I'm very excited for the very first ever expansion character in Street Fighter 6 in Rashid and the gameplay updates to the game that sound like they're going to make the game much easier to play and much better, in my opinion. I guess we'll see. But we'll talk all about that in a little bit. I think what we should do, as we always do here on the Level 1 podcast, is we should start with yesterday and talk about everything that went down so you guys are aware. And then we'll talk about what's coming up today in the schedule. I actually need your help to determine who to use in Street Fighter 6 today because I am completely on the fence. Really, I'm completely undecided as of now. And I need your feedback. All right? Cool. Let's do this. By the way, of course, another new shirt today. I told you that I bought several of these. I still haven't gone through all of them. I think I still have another shirt I've never even worn on the streams yet. But yeah, this is a nice one. The only bummer about this one is, as you can see, this piece of the collar, I don't want to button it all the way up. It seems like it's too, I want to have a little bit more loose, but when you get it more loose like this, and now this kind of flops over, and you can see the inside doesn't look great. Yeah, whatever. I don't think it really bothers anyone, but, I like it. It's a nice shirt, and again, in the vibe of the summer months here, I'm enjoying how aerated these shirts are. They allow me to play Street Fighter and not sit here sweaty and disgusting. Because when I play Street Fighter, again, my adrenaline seriously goes up, makes my body temperature go up, and I end up sweating. I really do. Every time I play, I get the sweats. So having a shirt like this is way more aerated and more cool and relaxing. So anyway, let's talk about what happened yesterday on the streams. First stream yesterday was Final Fantasy 16, and basically it's just more of the same at this point. You get a high, right? You get a really excellent story-based segment with cool plot developments, an epic fight, you know, with cool icon bosses and everything. Wow, this is so neat. I'm having such a good time. Let me immediately have that ruined by 90 minutes of fetch questing that has nothing to do with the plot and could have been explained away in a 5-minute cutscene. It really is bad how in Final Fantasy 16, whoever the game director was did a piss poor job of pacing and didn't understand that having entire segments of boredom in between exciting parts does not make the game better. It just pads it. And it's a really bad experience in that regard when you're like, wow, this is so good. What's going to happen next? Well, you're not going to know for 2 hours because now you have to fucking do boring, menial shit. It would be one thing if it gave you the option to do the boring, menial shit if you wanted to pad your own experience with side content. But it's not how the game's built. The game literally has things that should be boring, menial side content as story-based content. It's pathetic. It was funny because yesterday, after we did this big major boss fight, right? We did 90 minutes of bullshit. And then after that, it went to another cutscene, and the cutscene was great. And I was like, so can you imagine if you're the game director and you were pacing the game properly? You would have had this epic boss fight. You immediately would have panned to the really good story-based, meaningful development cutscene that happened 90 minutes after, and then you would have just had a 2-minute explanation. Okay, so in the meantime, one of the characters was doing this behind the scenes and developed, you know, this ship for your crew. And that's it. Instead of having 90 minutes of fetch questing to build the ship. That adds nothing whatsoever to the game. It was just pathetic. I'm sorry. The writing's terrible in this fucking game. Even the dialogue, everything's long-winded. The more I play it, the more I see the flaws, but then there's a good part. And I'm like, oh my God, we're back. It's like the summer blockbuster movie again. Here we go. Excitement and fun. And combat is excellent. And you get the fucking graphics are going and the plot is excellent. There's twists and turns, everything in the plot. Wow. And it's like, now what comes next? Sleep. So it's not going to change. Let's be honest. It's not going to change. All right? It's going to stay the same for the rest of the game. Good news is we're more than halfway through it. I think if we keep on the pace we're going, 2 major streams of it every single week, I think that we'll probably beat it by early August. And from what everyone says, the last third or last quarter of the game is super good. Why? Because all the menial shit's gone. Basically, right now is the point of the game where they do that stupid balance. But once you get to the end of the game, it's ramped up and it's all like exciting at the end. In which case, probably the end of the game is going to be exceptionally good, right? Which I'm pleased, I'm happy, I can't wait. But it just sucks that we got to kind of go through entire streams where it's like, wow, I played 3 hours and 45 minutes were good and the rest was a waste of my time. It's not good at all. I don't know how people are ignoring this because people are trying to treat the game like it's an MMO. It's not an MMO, all right? In an MMO, the reason that those menial missions and tasks are more fun is because you're doing them with your clan or your guild. You're having social interaction when you're doing that stuff. So it's much better. It's like you're not wasting time. You're spending time with your friends while you're doing stuff. You know the best way to explain this? In real life, let's say you go grocery shopping, right? You go grocery shopping by yourself. You do it once or twice, it's all right. But once you do it the 5th time, you're bored. I've already been to this grocery store a million times. It's not exciting. It's just work I have to do to get groceries in my house. But now do it with a friend or do it with a significant other, and all of a sudden a new wrinkle is added because it's fun. You're doing something different with someone else who normally maybe you wouldn't do it with, or, you know, just having that social interaction with someone. Maybe, oh, someone sees something new on a shelf you didn't see before or whatever. You know what I mean? It makes it better. It really does. And that's why in an MMO, those menial tasks and things that you do aren't that big of a deal because they feel meaningful. When you're playing Final Fantasy 16 by your fucking self, it feels like you're watching grass grow, like you're painting a fucking white picket fence with white paint and it's dripping down and you have to recoat it, but then you have to wait for it to dry to put on the next coat. So you watch the grass grow while you're waiting for the fucking paint to dry to do the second coat. That's what it feels like you're doing with this shit. Like, why is it in there? Again, someone ask the game director these questions. Like, what the fuck were you thinking? This is not meaningful gameplay in 2023. Stop saying your game is 60 to 80 hours long when in reality it's 20 hours long with 60 hours of shit. Anyway, that's the Final Fantasy 16 experience for me, okay? We're going to continue on. I'm going to keep playing it. We're going to eventually beat it. I can't wait to get to the good parts at the end. Seriously, I can't wait. Now, last night we played, I almost said Amnesia the Bunker. Last night we played Street Fighter 6's World Tour mode. First time we did it in the week. We're going to probably do these once a week as a night stream. It was fun. Once again, we were exploring new areas. We actually went to the UK and met Cammy, and Cammy became a new trainer, and we started learning Cammy's moves, so now I have the spiral arrow move, as well as her dive kick, which I don't even know what it's called in this one, but her dive kick. We ran into Jamie, but he's not a trainer yet. We know where he is, but he hasn't become a trainer in the plot yet. Maybe we have to do something else to have him become a trainer. At the end of the stream, we ran into Ken, who actually was undercover as a construction worker, which is neat, because that fits into the plot of Street Fighter 6. I don't know how many of you know, but in the plot of Street Fighter 6, Ken has been falsely accused of a crime, so he's on the run from the law and trying to be undercover. And so he's pretending to be another person as a construction worker. So you run into him at the construction site. And then he becomes your trainer. So that's kind of neat. And outside of that, we actually did the Hagar's tournament. Like, there's a novice level fighting game tournament. Or not fighting game, but fighting tournament. And you have to do 3 qualifying matches. And we won the matches. And it was cool. It was good advancement. My character learned a bunch of new moves, leveled up a bunch. Had a great time with it. Really did. And I like the mode. The thing is, I understand with Street Fighter 6, the focus is competitive play. So it's weird. And here's why I say it's weird. Whenever I play ranked multiplayer, people are like, wow, this is great. And then there's another group of people that are like, wow, it's more Street Fighter. This is boring. So then when I play the World Tour mode, right? So people are like, wow, this is great. It's chill fun. We can have the chill vibes back of the streams that we can't get during the ranked multiplayer. And then the people who like the ranked multiplayer say, wow, this is offline crap. This is boring. So it's like a complete split among fans of mine of which kind of content they're enjoying out of Street Fighter 6. I'm seeing people show up to the World Tour streams who aren't on the ranked and vice versa just for that, you know? But I mean, I understand the major focus of Street Fighter 6 is the competition, which is why the World Tour stuff is basically like kind of a once a week late night chill deal. It's not going to be focused on, so, it is what it is. I'm still enjoying it. I think we're around 9 hours in, and everyone says it's about 20 hours long. So we're fastly approaching like the halfway point. I don't know how long we'll be playing this mode. Maybe eventually we'll pick it up and play it a little more. But I enjoy it, and it's good. And the other thing is, as you play it, you're getting unlocks and stuff, right? It's not like it's a waste of time. And, I think that it'll get even more interesting as DLC characters start getting added. For example, the DLC character coming up this week, Rashid, will be in World Tour mode when we play it next. It's pretty cool. So, all right. So yesterday was a pretty good streaming day. Good variety. It broke it up. No competitive Street Fighter play for a bit, so people can relax. We're like, oh, no Street Fighter today, right? Today, competitive Street Fighter. All right. So this first stream will either be more Lily or Zangief. Now, last night, before I went to sleep, I did my usual research to try to see what tech could I absorb of Street Fighter 6. There's almost no Lily videos out there. And what I mean by that is I think people have collectively accepted that she's just kind of low tier in the game. And because of that, it's very hard to find like high ranked gameplay with her. I find maybe like 2 good videos a week, if that, of like tech or someone playing her at a high level on YouTube. It's hard, very hard to find. Last week I had watched some of it before I played with Lily on Wednesday of last week, and I haven't even seen like a new video since then to watch. All right, now Zangief, on the flip side of that, people are making tons of videos about Zangief. And I don't know if it's just because he's a traditional character that's always been in Street Fighter. He is recognized as being pretty low tier in this one, in Street Fighter 6. And I think what it is when you find someone who's good, like, for example, a Snake Eyes or Uncle Zangie, there's like 3 or 4 very prominent Zangief players who are Zangief specialists in Street Fighter 6, and they get videos out. Like, every week there's 2 or 3 of these videos coming out, and each one's like 20, 30 minutes long. So there's a lot to watch. In fact, I ended up watching like an hour, and finally I was nodding off. I was like, all right, I better stop watching because I'm just going to fall asleep. Did I see some impressive stuff? Yeah. Basically what I'm seeing is some hit strings that are good. Like, his low light kick is insanely good and beats a ton of shit. So from now on, when I'm Zangief, when I'm close to someone, I'm mashing low light kick. And if it hits, you can hit confirm into a low jab, dash cancel, and now you have a mix-up. You could do a 360. You could do another low jab. If it connects, you could do a combo. If it doesn't connect, you go into another mix-up scenario. I saw some interesting combos. Like with the combo that I've been doing, involves a lot of medium punches. It's like medium punch, dash cancel, medium punch, directional medium punch, and lariat. Well, after the directional medium punch, you can cancel into the level 2 super, which is big damage. And then after that, you could do a juggle, or you could do a mix-up. So I'm like, oh, there's some little tricks here, little nuanced tricks. You know, at maximum distance, you can do his forward roundhouse, and if they block it, they think they can punish it, and they can't, and that could lead to you countering them with like a super. So, you know, I'm seeing these little nuanced things, and I'm like, okay. These are things that I can implement in my game for sure. What I do want to do is if I use Zangief today, I want to go into training mode and play with him for like 5 minutes just to try a couple things that I saw. I want to mess around a little bit with that low light kick, dash cancel technique, and see if I can get it down to muscle memory. But for the most part, again, I'll say this, it seems like when Zangief gets into the corner, he's kind of screwed. If he gets into the corner, he really has a hard time getting out. I've been seeing even the top level players, if they get stuck in the corner, they get mixed up and they can't get out because Zangief doesn't have a reversal. You know, how do you get out of the corner with this character? It seems like you can't. You have to stay mid-screen and you have to stay on the offensive in their face so they don't push you to the corner. If you get pushed to the corner, it's almost the end of the game guaranteed every time. So what a detriment to this character to not have a way out of a corner. You know what I mean? Anyway, so either character, Lily or Zangief, I'm happy with. It's up to you guys what you want. I'm definitely willing to hear your feedback. If you look at, you know, the characters I've been using, I definitely used Lily last Wednesday. I didn't get to play with her as much as I wanted. It was less than 2 hours because the servers went down, if you remember. Zangief, I haven't played with in a little longer. So maybe Zangief today. The thing is, no matter what I do today, I'm doing the other character on Friday anyway. So it's not like, oh, if I play one today, that's it. We're not gonna see the other character for a while. You know, so it's not that big of a deal. Just a question of what order you want, right? So there you go. A lot of people in the chat are saying Zangief. Yes, do Zangief, please, Zangief. There you go. People really want the Geefster. I'll probably give you the gift of Geef today. Would you like the gift of Geef? Would you like to receive the delicious gift of the Russian grappler, spinning people around, slamming them, punching them, putting his arms out like this, and spinning like a tornado, striking everything around him in a radius? Would you like to see that? Well, too bad. No, I give my viewers what they want. If you guys want the gift of Geef, I'll give you the gift of Geef. Yes, people want the gift of Geef today. Yes, please. They're saying, wow. Goldfish wants to get pile drived by Zangief. Now, that could be taken another way, so you better watch your language there. Your phrasing, as they would say on Archer. But, yeah, all right. Very nice. You didn't know how to say Chakotay until you watched El Chakotay's guides? Chakotay from Star Trek Voyager. You didn't know Chakotay? He's cool. He's the second in command of the ship. Anyway. I don't know what that had to do with anything. All right. So maybe today we'll do the gift of Geef, and that means probably sometime on Friday we'll play with Lily. We'll talk about that in a second. All right. The late stream tonight, 6:45 p.m. Pacific time. Amnesia I don't know why I just did that on my leg. Amnesia the Bunker tonight on the late stream. Yes, we are approaching the end game. We basically have to go to the arsenal. We have all the tools in the game now. So we have to go to the arsenal. We have to continue through. There were some rats that were in our way that we can maybe get rid of now, all right? Because now we have the ability to make like Molotov cocktails or torches. So we can get the rats out of the way and investigate fully. There was a door we got to that we needed bolt cutters. We didn't have it. Now we could bolt cut that door open. And I believe there also might have been a grating that we couldn't open because we didn't have the wrench. Now we have the wrench. So we can fully investigate the arsenal. And I think that's where the story is pushing us to say, oh, that's where the dynamite is. That's how you can blow the entrance of the bunker open and escape. But as I said, when it comes to these Amnesia games, there's always a wrinkle. There's always a twist. There's always something at the end. You think you're good, and then something happens. So I get the feeling that even though we think that this is the end of the game, this is not going to be the end of the game. That something's going to happen, and there's going to be more to it. So we'll see. But that's tonight's late stream. I hope you'll join me. Last time we played was great. You know, a lot of people showed up. There was support. Everything went well. Since it is endgame and possible conclusion, I'm hoping people will show up tonight for this stream. We'll see. Okay? I am off from streaming tomorrow. It is my day off, as I've already mentioned. I'm going to be relaxed with my family, hopefully having a great time. I hope that you guys have a good day tomorrow. Now, I will ask you a favor. If you happen to watch any content here on this channel or over on DSP Reacts, please engage with the content. If you're enjoying the video, please give it a like. And if you're enjoying the video, please leave a comment. Even if it's an inane comment like, I'm just commenting to help for the algorithm. That helps the channel. And I need that level of help. This channel doesn't get any promotion. This channel does not very frequently show up in YouTube search. All right? It is your engagement on my content that will propel this channel back up. And let's be honest, in the last month, there hasn't been a lot going on in the realm of new releases. So views are down on the channel, and there's nothing I can do about that. Likely that will continue throughout the summer months. It's going to be different when all the new games start coming out in the fall. Then things will be propelled back up. But in the meantime, your engagement helps this channel a lot. So if you could do me that favor, I would very much appreciate it. Excuse me. I had to get a little bit of a refreshment there. Now, speaking of DSP Reacts, I released a new video last night. How many of you are aware that I released a new review on DSP Reacts last night? If you're aware, thanks. I wish more people knew, because I released my review of Dungeons & Dragons Honor Among Thieves, the Dungeons & Dragons movie from a few months ago, all right? Now, I don't want to spoil my review, but all I'm going to say is I really liked this movie. I thought it was very good, and that's all I'm going to say, because I want you to watch the review, obviously. I was surprised at how good it was. It's actually one of my favorite movies in a while, all right? And I really enjoyed it, but sadly, some comments are being left on the video saying that the movie didn't do well and it's probably nothing's going to come of it. And I was like, you gotta be kidding me. So a movie comes along that out of left field is super duper good. It's well produced. Everything about the movie I enjoyed. Practical effects. And oh, well, the movie didn't do well, so there's not going to be anything else coming. I'm like, fuck! Come on! You know, coming off of the Super Mario Brothers movie, which I reviewed and didn't really like, there's probably going to be 17 more of those. But the movie that I did like, oh, it didn't do well. Anyway, please check out the review and leave comments. Let me know what you think, if you agree or disagree with me. But super duper good movie, in my opinion. I had a lot to say about it, so please give it a look, okay? Very good. All right. On Friday when I come back, it's Street Fighter Friday. So that means it's Street Fighter all day long. Normally on Street Fighter Friday, I would try to use a new character. However, we have a new character coming out on Monday, the first DLC character, Rashid. And since Rashid is coming out on Monday, it makes more sense to wait until Monday to do my new character for the week. So, on Friday, we won't be doing a new character. Instead, Instead, I'll be doing a combination of characters I've already used. Since today it sounds like we're using Zangief, I would guess that probably one of those streams I'm going to use Lily, and I'm actually leaning on the other stream to use Luke. Now, Luke is in Diamond. But for some reason, I'm getting wins. So, we'll see. I mean, but I think maybe probably those two characters will be the two that I play on Friday, and that'll split it up, be good variety, two completely different characters in ranked, and see if I can level up. You know, my goal now is not only to get, you know, certain characters into Diamond, but also get others as well. I don't think I'm ever going to get like 10 characters to master rank. Let's be honest here. It's probably never going to happen. But at least if I have a few characters who I'm enjoying and I'm doing decently with, that's going to give me variety in my gameplay and allow me to kind of, you know, expand my horizons of what I'm doing with the game, as opposed to these one character specialists who literally just play one character the entire time they're playing the game competitively. I don't really agree with that. I like having variety, so probably we'll do those two characters on Friday. Saturday will be more Final Fantasy 16. Saturday night's late stream is up in the air, and the reason I say that, it depends on Amnesia. If we beat Amnesia tonight, then we have freedom to do whatever we want on Saturday night. But if we didn't beat Amnesia tonight, we need another late stream. We'll beat it on Saturday night. Okay? Sunday, DSP versus the Internet, my weekly React show. And Sunday night, we're going to be doing another fan lobby. Now, I guess the question here is, should we do another nice casualized lobby like we did last week? That seemed to go really well. Everyone went in and played with whoever they wanted. I was doing casual play with a lot of variety of characters, right? And it went really well. I mean, if you took a look at my win-loss record, correct? It was like 40 wins and like 25 losses, and that was fine because I was using characters I wasn't that good with. It was good variety. Or we could do the idea that we had, the DSP versus the world stream. in which case I'm basically just going to pick my best characters, probably like Blanca, maybe Luke, and that's it. And I'm going to play as hard as I can to try to win every single match. The bummer about that is I might end up winning, almost all night, in which case it's not going to be that entertaining. It's better when there's a chance, because I'm using a character I'm not great with, right? Like Dalsim or Ryu. I'm not very good with those characters. I like them, but I'm probably going to lose a lot more when I pick them. If I just keep picking my best characters, likely what's going to end up happening is I'm going to win a lot, and people are going to be like, oh, this is boring. Phil's just beating up on everyone. And you're right. Like, I don't really get entertainment out of that. I'm just being honest here. I don't get entertainment out of that. I would much rather give everyone a fighting chance than just pick my main character who I'm in freaking diamond ranking with. You know what I mean? Like, that's kind of stupid in my opinion. But it depends on what people want. I'm going to let people tell me over the course of the week what they feel they want to see. All right? If you're someone who's enjoyed the casualized content, maybe you want to play me, and you know you're not, playing the game hardcore, you're not great at it, you probably want the more casualized fan lobby. But if you're someone who basically wants to see the high-level gameplay, then maybe you want the other. I don't know. You let me know. All right? So let's go from there. And play it by ear, but I'll listen to your feedback over the week, okay? And then the rest of the week, again, there'll be a balance. There'll be ranked gameplay on the daytime streams. There'll be Final Fantasy also alternated. But Monday, the 24th of July, is the release day of Rashid. And he's a brand new character. He was in Street Fighter V, but much like a lot of characters, it looks like he's been completely redesigned for Street Fighter VI. I want to play with him all day, so we're going to do, on the day stream, his guide, his combo trials, and then go online and try to learn this character and try to rank him up. But in addition, there's a big change coming on Monday. They're changing the gameplay of Street Fighter VI. They're making it so that now you can do drive rush cancels with 2 buttons instead of a dash input. For me, I'm going to be honest, this is going to help me tremendously. Because, a lot of the times I try to do drive rush canceling, it drops. I do the input, and it doesn't come out. And I'm like, man, that would have been key to get the drive rush right there and be able to continue my combo or keep the pressure going. And I swear I'm doing a dash input, and sometimes it just doesn't come out. It might be because, what if you're down backing and you throw out a kick and it connects? Oh, dash cancel. Well, now you're going from down, back, forward, and that takes more time to input than say, oh, it connected, just press 2 buttons together. You see? I've been hoping that they would do this, and then they did it. So that's awesome. So starting Monday, dash canceling, it's actually called drive rush canceling, is going to be way easier. All right? So I'm excited for this, and I'm going to see how this implements, not only with Rashid, but I feel like this is going to improve my gameplay with several different characters who I probably could be playing better with if I could drive rush cancel more consistently, and now I think I'm going to be able to. Okay? So that's Monday, and then like I said, Tuesday, Wednesday, we'll balance it. Now, remember, coming up at the end of the month, we've got a very special event coming up, the Dark Side of Machinima event. It's a long-form React event on my sister channel, DSP Reacts. It'll be a marathon day, all day that day, where it's going to be a variety of content. Number 1, I'm going to be watching the June the King documentary on Machinima and live commenting on it, adding, adding all my takes and stuff on what happened with Machinima that he covers in his documentary. But in addition, being that I was one of the longest running partners of Machinima, over 6 years I was with this company, I have a wealth of information, a bunch of emails I've saved, stories to tell. I can tell you about how I first teamed up with Machinima, their attitude when I first started with them, how their attitudes changed over the course of a couple of years after I started with them. I can't wait to tell you the full story of my whole trip to E3 and how that went, because it was fucking bizarre. To say the least, it was really weird, all right? It was like, I want to spoil. That's what we're going to do that day, okay? And then, contract and renegotiations and things that happen over time. When YouTube all of a sudden overnight flipped a content ID switch and people were rushing to get their content under managed partnerships, and how I helped people with that, with Machinima and stuff like that. The whole fiasco when DSPGaming was hit with false copyright strikes, and how Machinima handled that by talking with YouTube and advising me to do stuff that literally destroyed my channel. Yes. So there you go. And more stuff. There's just so much to talk about. My falling out with Machinima, when eventually I broke up with them, right? And we had a big tearful breakup. I'll tell the whole story. So it'll all be together in one event, the whole history of me with Machinima, but also, it's going to paint a better picture of what this company was, because no one's really done that. I've looked all over YouTube. almost no one has ever really talked about it. It's kind of like, meh, but, you know, it's a story that needs to be told. It's a company that was so bizarre that, you know, the way that they rose and then fell. And I want to talk about my experiences with them. It's going to be a great day-long event of just chilling, me telling stories and us having fun interactions. I got some swag and shit to show you that's machinima related, which is hilarious that I still have it. We'll probably order some food that day, do the next episode of Feasting with Phil, which is my mukbang show, I guess you could call it. Yeah, we'll do all that stuff. It's going to be good, all right? So I hope you'll join me for that day. It's going to be a great day. That's Saturday, July 29th, and that's exclusively over on DSP Reacts all day long, all right? And then we're going to be doing fun anniversary-related things once August hits. And that's where we're heading now with my next topic of the show today is overnight I did a poll, okay? And the poll was regarding game playthroughs that you would like to see me, that you would like to see me do to celebrate my anniversary as a 15-year content creator on YouTube. I started doing consistent gameplay videos in the fall of 2008. 15 years is a long freaking time of my life, you know? It's more than a third of my life I've been a YouTuber. That's pretty crazy to think about, isn't it? And so, what I would like to do is I would like to get your opinions on what you want to see. So I did a poll overnight, and I checked the results right before actually I came in here to stream this morning, and here's the preliminary results. The poll only ran around 9 hours at this point, okay? Here are the options. Saints Row 2. Why Saints Row 2? Because this is one of the earliest games I ever played on YouTube, and I never did a full playthrough. I only did what was called highlights, where I did shorter videos of notable parts of the story or gameplay, but I never played the whole game. Okay? So, I could do a full playthrough of this game for you guys. By the way, I remember liking the game, although there were tedious parts that were annoying. I remember liking the game. There were like these themed gangs. Like one of the gangs like a ninja gang and stuff like that. Right? That's number one. Option number two. Super Mario Brothers 3 on the NES. Why Super Mario 3? Well, first of all, because it's one of the best platforming games of all time. I love the game, and I've only done one playthrough of it ever, and the one playthrough I did of it was over 10 years ago, and it was with my friend John Rambo. So it was a co-op playthrough with co-op commentary. I wasn't even playing all the time. It was definitely a different style of content than what I do today. So going back and playing one of the best platformers of all time in my current gameplay style and streaming style would actually be pretty interesting for a 15-year anniversary, I feel. Okay? So there you go. Option number 3, Grand Theft Auto 5. And when I say that, I mean the recent re-release for Xbox Series X that is now under Game Pass Ultimate. Okay? So GTA 5 is kind of interesting. And allow me to explain why this is interesting. First of all, when the game came out in 2013, this was one of my most watched and talked about playthroughs I had ever done. All right? I was just coming off of the year before playing the classic GTA trilogy, which everyone had absolutely loved, and was looking forward to me playing the new one. Okay? And so the hype was real. And when I played it, you know, it was exactly the same kind of stuff you would expect from GTA. Silliness, adult content, but also some interesting gameplay, great plot developments, character developments, you know, good stuff. Overall, the story of GTA 5 is quite good. It's not all good. You know, some parts in there that aren't as good, but overall, it's a great game. All right? So my first playthrough of GTA 5 did incredibly well, and this was just when I had become a live streamer, and I was streaming everything. Now, the thing is, I didn't have live stream interaction. I basically ignored the chat. I talked with no one. It was just as if I were offline playing the game. There was no face cam, none of the things that are like today. So me doing a playthrough of it today would probably be significantly different than the first playthrough 10 years ago. Now, hold on one second. Some people have already countered the possibility of me playing GTA 5. And their counter to this idea is, but Phil, you already played the game twice. Why would you play it a third time? Okay? Now, is there some validity to that statement? Yes, but it is not factually true. Here's what really happened, okay? I originally played GTA 5 on the Xbox 360 at launch. Did a full playthrough of it, even tried with some GTA Online and stuff like that, and then essentially, you know, didn't play it for a while. Now, the next year, all right, they re-released the game for the new consoles that had come out in the fall. So at that time, I rebought the game on the PlayStation 4 because now it ran at a full 60 frames per second, which it did not run on the Xbox 360. So I rebought it, and you guys were interested in seeing me do a first-person playthrough. Because in GTA 5 at that time on the PS4, you could play it as a first-person game, which was never done before in the GTA series. So the whole premise was unique, right? So I started doing it. And at first, the gimmick worked and people liked it. And within like a few sessions, I say 2 to 3 streams of it, people got bored. And we're like, nah, I mean, you just kind of played this a year ago. It's the same game. Yeah, the first-person gimmick kind of worked for a few hours, but now we realize it's going to be the same thing, and, you know, we're not too interested in it anymore. So, basically, I did buy the game again. I did start to replay it, but I think I only got maybe 10 or 12 hours in. People got bored, and I canceled the playthrough. And we went on and we did something else instead, and we never went back. You know, over the years, did I go back to GTA Online once or twice when the heists launched? Yes. But for the most part, that was it. That was my whole history with GTA 5, was the original playthrough and just a few hours of a first-person playthrough the year after, and that was it. So that was like 9 years ago. Okay? Today, the game has been remastered, re-released for modern consoles, is on Game Pass. It's just a good opportunity, I feel, for me to not only celebrate one of the most successful playthroughs I've ever done in my time as a YouTube content creator, but also GTA 6 is in full-on development. And we're waiting for information, and I get the feeling that within the next, 1 or 2 years, we'll probably get a lot of information about GTA 6 coming out. And so now would maybe be a good time to play the game. Okay? I'm not saying we have to. I'm just saying it kind of makes sense, all right? And then the last game that I'm interested in, actually because of the nature of these games, I would make it kind of a marathon special or something like that. A classic Mega Man marathon playing all the Mega Man games from the NES. Now, allow me to explain what I mean by that. You can get a collection of Mega Man games very cheap. It's only like a few dollars. I think it's like under $10. You can get like the whole classics collection of Mega Man, which covers all of the early games, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like all of them. Okay? Now, listen, I love Mega Man. When I was growing up, Mega Man 2 and 3, I owned both of them. I absolutely loved them, and I probably replayed them a million times, okay? Mega Man 4 I also owned, and I thought it was good, but I didn't like it as much as 2 and 3. Thing about classic Mega Man, it's very challenging. Those games are not easy. So there's going to be deaths, there's going to be rage, but the other thing is they're not very long. So because of that, if I wanted to play a series of classic Mega Man games, I'd be able to do that and not have to be, oh my God, he played Mega Man for 2 weeks. It would never last that long. You understand what I'm saying? Like, it would definitely only be, a series of games that, would maybe, a few streams to get through the older games. They're not lengthy at all. I'll probably beat Mega Man 1 and 2 in like one stream. You know what I'm saying? They're very short games. So that's what I was thinking is, like, if we chose that, it would be like a Mega Man kind of event where we play classic Mega Mans over the course of like the month, okay? So these are my 4 ideas. Now, the poll's only been live 9 hours. Here's the initial results. Saints Row 2, 23% of the vote. Super Mario Bros. 3, 16% of the vote. Grand Theft Auto 5, 42% of the vote. And Mega Man Marathon, 18% of the vote. And that is clocking in 883 votes. Now, checking now, because that was a picture I took like an hour ago, 2 hours ago. I'm just curious if things have changed in the last like hour or two. Let me take another look at it. So if I go here and I go here. So another 100 votes have been cast. And the only difference I'm really seeing is like 1 percentile difference. So basically, as of now, GTA 5 is massively in the lead, okay? Now, I don't know if that's because people like the game. I don't know if that's because... I don't know what the reasoning is there. The thing is, people have talked about me replaying GTA 5 over the years, and I always held off on doing it. I think it was a good thing I did, because now that it's a 10-year anniversary, it's kind of more interesting. Plus, we're 2 console generations later. This game likely will run very nice and look very nice on the Xbox Series X. So, I guess we'll see what happens. But, hey, that's the initial. If you haven't voted yet, please go vote. Your vote matters. You're going to have time. We're in no rush here. Please vote on this poll. It's on the community tab of DSPGaming's channel here on YouTube. And I'd like to really get your opinion. Right now, almost 1,000 people have voted. If we can get another 1,000 in there, that'd be great. How soon would I start playing one of these games? It really depends on what happens with Amnesia. And it also depends on if you would much rather see one of these retro games as opposed to, say, me going back to like Elden Ring or something like that and continuing that playthrough, right? So let's see. Let's gauge interest. Please vote. Let's see what you guys want. And we'll go from there. Fair enough? But this was a great opportunity for me to ask your opinions on stuff. To get your feedback. This is key to what I'll be doing in the next month because there are pretty much no prominent new releases coming out that I feel like anyone's going to really care about, including me. So this is a month of me kind of doing throwback retro stuff, and now's the time to get these opinions in, okay? Speaking of which, hold on. What the hell that is. Okay. Speaking of which, in the month of August, we're going to do several anniversary events. There's going to be a Project 7 event where we're going to watch back all of Project 7, and I'm going to do a live react to it for DSP Reacts. Plus, I'm going to be giving background info, commentary, all kinds of stuff on it. Now in a new perspective, since last year we watched and reacted to the John Rambo and Howard video about me, and they talked a whole segment there about Project 7. Well, now that I know their feelings, right? Now I can tell you my feelings from my perspective of everything that was going on all along. All right? So that'll be an interesting event to do it, right? In addition, we're gonna do a full-fledged, retrospective event where you guys are gonna nominate your favorite moments, playthroughs, whatever from my 15 years of content, and we're gonna watch it back together live in a marathon setting, similar to how we do DSP Reacts every week. We're gonna do the similar thing, DSP versus the internet every week. We're gonna do one all about me and my content, all right? And you're going to have the opportunity to nominate things that you like. The members will have priority to do that, while everyone else will also nominate, but members are basically going to get their stuff picked first, and then we're going to go to the standard nominations. And I'm going to make a big playlist of my content and videos to watch based on your recommendations, okay? So it's going to be pretty neat. That's going to be a fun marathon event going on, probably around middle of August. We're probably going to have Ask the King return in August as an anniversary celebration. Yes, I know Ask the King was supposed to happen back in May, and we kept delaying it. Well, now's a good opportunity to bring it back for the anniversary. It is indeed my longest running show that I've done on the internet. In addition to that, there's going to be a special tier maker event where I'm going to be ranking all of the games that I've picked as Game of the Year, as well as the second place placings, and I'm going to be doing a tier maker of that live with all of you, where we're going to see what games held up over the years and what games didn't, okay? Plus more. Like I said, these retro playthroughs are going to be a big part of this special event. So even though maybe we're voting right now and one of these playthroughs will start first, doesn't mean that'll be the only one. There's potential I could even play all of those games in the poll eventually over the course of August, okay? So, I'm excited for my 15-year anniversary event coming up in the month of August. I think it's going to be great. Keep in mind, there's still going to be Street Fighter 6 coverage. We're going to keep continuing on with Final Fantasy 16 till we beat it, and then we're going to go from there. All right? Cool. Very cool. All right. I think I've covered everything I wanted to cover in that regard. So I think now I'd like to do a couple of news stories, and then we'll start doing shout-outs. Okay? Cool. News stories for today. There is a strong rumor that Disney CEO Bob Iger is actually considering selling Disney or some of its assets, or maybe all of Disney itself. Okay? This is wild. Absolutely wild. Because just a few years ago, Disney was one of the most profitable, prominent entertainment companies on planet Earth. They owned Marvel. They owned Star Wars. They owned all the Disney properties. So what happened? Well, I'll tell you what happened. The Marvel movies started to tank, right? The Star Wars movies didn't do as good as they wanted, and everyone turned against them. They overproduced Star Wars content, half of which people aren't even watching. Okay? The Disney stuff. They decided to remake every single Disney movie as a live action movie, changing the whole fucking story around and changing key elements, and it pissed people off. The last 3 to 4 Disney movies that were supposed to be blockbusters were actually considered box office flops. So you can only essentially fail for so long before things start to get shaken up. And it's just crazy that this company that I would say 5 to 10 years ago, we were all talking about, oh my God, Disney owns the world. Disney is buying everything up. And they're assimilating all pop culture. And they're going to be the biggest pop culture company in the world. Who's going to stop them? Well, now we know the answer. Who's going to stop Disney? Disney themselves. They became their own worst enemy because they kept changing everything about the IPs that they were buying up, right? If you take a look at the height of the prominent Marvel movies, right? Like, when were they doing their absolute best? Right in that mid-range when you had, like, you know, the Iron Man 3, Infinity War, Captain America and the Winter Soldier. You know, those were the times that super prominence of Marvel movies. But what ended up happening was they oversaturated the market with too many periphery characters no one cared about. Like Captain fucking Marvel. Do we really need Captain fucking Marvel? Who the hell cares about that? When you flood the market with too much, then people stop caring. It's like I say on my own streams, right? When you do something every once in a while, it feels special. If we do something all the time, it doesn't feel special anymore. It becomes more commonplace and people don't care about it as much, right? But that's what they didn't seem to understand. They were like, oh, well, simply because of, you know, our Marvel movies are doing good, we have to like exponentially increase the amount of Marvel content we're putting out there. No, you don't. You should actually just, instead of throwing everything at everyone, you should have maybe 5 Marvel movies a year that are absolutely amazing movies, 1 or 2 television series, and that's it. And reserve yourself. And focus elsewhere on other things, so that way when Marvel content comes out, it's special. It's not, oh my God, they hit me with 700 pieces of Marvel content. I mean, my case in point for me, all right, pro wrestling. For the longest time, I was a pro wrestling fan, right? I loved it. And then all of a sudden, WWE Network came out, and now not only was there 2 wrestling shows a week to watch in Raw and SmackDown, but there was also an NXT show, there was reality shows, there was other behind-the-scenes shows. Oh, by the way, if you want to be in on pro wrestling, you got to be watching Impact Wrestling. You got to be watching Ring of Honor, right? Now, these days, you got AEW and all this. Like, wait a minute. For me to be a wrestling fan, I have to be investing like 70 hours a week to watch pro wrestling. I don't want to do that. You know, that's ridiculous. Oh, well, if you're not doing that, you're not in on all this stuff. You're not a true wrestling fan. Well, then I guess I'm not going to be a wrestling fan anymore. It's too much of an investment. It's supposed to be something that every once in a while you're spending some time, you know, watching or enjoying as entertainment and optional. Now, you have to invest your entire life's existence into it to even understand it, right? So much Marvel content was coming out that there was no way you were ever going to watch it all, and therefore, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is insane. Why were they putting out so much? And don't even get me started on Star Wars. You know, Star Wars, let's make a new trilogy. Okay, could you please write us a story that has a start, beginning, and end, so that no matter who's working on it, at least we have a story? Oh no, we're just going to make 3 movies. We don't have a story yet. You think there may be a problem here? You're gambling with billions of dollars, right? No, we don't need that. We're smart, right? We're big brain. We're probably Ivy League educated. We know what we're doing. We'll make Star Wars great again. Oy, oy, oy. These fucking people, man. You know? And so what happens is they make a trilogy of Star Wars movies. No one likes the last movie, but they already made 10 other Star Wars things based around Star Wars that now it's too late to pull the plug on, right? If you think about it, they had made other Solo, that movie tanked because no one fucking cared about Star Wars anymore. And, you know, 2-3 more movies coming out, no one cares. Oh, how about a fucking series? They got lucky with Mandalorian. They really did. But at the same time, now Mandalorian has gone off the deep end and no one likes it anymore. So you see what I'm saying? Like, Disney basically doesn't understand, whoever's in charge anyway, if it's Bob Iger or whoever the fuck it is, doesn't understand even the premise of popularity and how it works. If you own all these great IPs, great, but stop flooding the market, right? Instead, diversify a little bit. Do some more interesting stuff. It's a little different, but you don't have to always do the same shit. Star Wars doesn't feel special anymore because there's too much Star Wars. Marvel doesn't feel special anymore because there's just too much Marvel. You know, you ruined it for people by putting out too much content. So there you go. And that's what's happened with Disney. So now, after flop after flop after flop for like a series of 4 to 5 years now where this pattern has been happening, the rumor is they might actually have to sell and get out of there, right? It's like, wow. And I don't know what would happen if there's new management that owned it or whatever. Would they do things differently? Maybe. I would certainly hope so. You know, I really don't feel that like Disney's really been doing the right thing for many years now. They've been making mistakes. So maybe it would be better to have someone else take the reins, right? The other news story we have today is yet another follow-up, if you're not aware, to the Microsoft and Activision Blizzard merger. So what was supposed to happen was the initial agreement was that the merger had to go through by like today. Okay? But what's ended up happening is, as you guys know, there's been a lot of different holdups in this process. In the UK, there's a regulatory holdup. In the United States, the FTC was suing. And all these things basically just kept having the deal delay. So the good news is, all the hurdles in the United States have been cleared. The FTC's been told to shut the fuck up. Enough with your bullshit. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Basically, a judge went and slapped them like this. Said, shut up. Quiet you. Just slapped their face. Stopped it. Quiet. Go away. And the FTC said, meh, and cowered away like they deserve to. But in the UK, there's still this process that Microsoft is working with this UK regulatory body. I guess it has something to do with cloud gaming. They need to hash it out. And once they hash it out, it looks like it's going to go through. But sadly, they didn't hit their deadline. So, there's been a new agreement. The fuck did I just click? There's been a new agreement. They've extended their merger to now conclude by October 18th. So they basically extended it by like 2 months, 3 months? 3 months, right? A 3-month extension on the deal, all right? And Phil Spencer is basically telling all his employees and the public, because he tweeted about it, he's feeling super positive now that this merger is going to go through. Now, some people have actually read between the lines of this new deal and found out that there is something going on, that there is actually a new kind of deal going on. I guess there's another regulatory body, the CMA. I don't know who the hell the CMA is. But I guess they said that if this deal isn't closed by August 29th, okay, there will be a termination fee of $3.5 billion or something crazy like that. I don't even know what that means, okay? The thing is with this legal process, it's been so convoluted. There's always another twist. There's always another thing you didn't know about that comes out of nowhere that fucks it up or makes it get delayed even further. But essentially what's going on here is this thing is going to continue. Everyone wants it to happen that's involved. It seems like even the regulatory bodies at this point realize it's just a matter of time. It's just going to be hashing out of like details to get it to go through. And, you know, will it go through sooner rather than later? Will there be initial changes if and when it goes through, or will they actually take longer? I don't know, you know, but finally it looks like we're in the home stretch. My question is, will the Microsoft purchase of Activision Blizzard actually make anything better? Because if you take a look at the other companies they bought out, I mean, shit. Take a look at what just happened with the fucking Redfall game, right? That's a company that at one point was making top-tier games. They were making games like Dishonored, right? Prey. Those are amazing games. Microsoft buys them, and they pump out 2 shitty games, Deathloop and Redfall. Like, what happened there, right? Microsoft bought them, and they got worse. So what's going on, right? Like, that's not good. So you have to hope that, you know, the fact that Microsoft is buying companies, that it's not going to be the death kiss for the companies. You know what I mean? Like, hopefully these companies will continue to put out good content. And I don't know. So I guess we'll see. Maybe, hopefully, let's hope that that was the exception to the rule, and that really there are a lot of companies making great games right now under the Microsoft umbrella. They're just not ready to be presented yet, right? Like, that would be the ideal thing to hope for. Not that every time Microsoft buys a company, somehow they go wrong, you know? Activision Blizzard has a lot of great games in their wheelhouse that they work on. You know, you got your Diablo, you got World of Warcraft, Overwatch. Well, it was good at one point. What was the other one? What's their MOBA game? I can't remember what it's called. Hearthstone, right? Then you go to Activision. Activision has a ridiculous amount of IPs, of course, the biggest of which is Call of Duty. So you gotta hope that because Microsoft's gonna buy them out, that now they're not gonna tank too, you know? But anyway, it looks like the deal is going through. Finally. Oh, the CMA is the regulatory body in the UK? Thank you. I didn't know that's what their name was. I kept saying it was a regulatory body, but I didn't know the name of the group. Thank you. Okay. All right. So we're going to get to a shout out, but if you give me a second here, this is a new shirt and the tag is killing me. I hate when that happens. Let me see here. Can I get this tag off? Yes. There we go. Fuck this tag. There we go. Good. There's nothing worse than having a new shirt, you love it, and the tag annoys the shit out of you. So I ripped it right off, so it's all good. Okay. Let's get to shout-outs, shall we? So, Gamerman117 re-upped his membership this morning. Thank you, Gamerman, for re-upping your membership. I really appreciate the support. That's really it. We have nothing else on the YouTube side of stuff. No memberships and no super chats, no super stickers as of yet. But, you know, the day is young. Thank you in advance to anyone who supports me on the YouTube side of things. I really appreciate that. Recently, we had a lot of people gifting memberships to the channel to try to boost the numbers again. Thank you for that. I really appreciate that. That helps a lot. And again, it's a great way today when I'm playing Street Fighter competitively. You will likely see more people on the stream today than, say, yesterday for Final Fantasy. Great opportunity if you were looking to help the community and you wanted to gift some memberships. Today would be a great day to do that, okay? Now, here we go. Shout-outs abound for tips. We start off today with a $50 tip from Lisa Lou. So right off the bat, thank you so much, Lisa Lou. As you can see, we're using a Diablo animation. Likely I'll keep these animations for the rest of the month, and then I'll change them for the month of August. Remember, I am looking for fan submissions. If you would like to contribute artwork or animations for my 15-year anniversary next month, that would be great. I would love to have new animations of maybe funny stuff of me over the years, maybe some of the green screen footage, right? Something like that, whatever. I'd like some new animations if possible. Can't make them myself because I don't have the capability nor the skill. But if a fan would like to work on that, I would really appreciate that. Either way, I'm going to change out these animations come August. We're not going to have these game animations anymore. We'll go back to maybe the more generic ones. All right? So thank you very much to Lisa Lou for a $50 tip. And Lisa Lou says, I've been a fan for many years. Thank you for the great content. You are welcome, Lisa. Thank you so much. Gunner Glasses, right to start. That is unless you guys would prefer. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Thank you, Lisa Lou. I'm probably not going to wear these when I play the game, by the way. I'm going to put on the Gunner Glasses when I play the game. Okay. Continuing on. I received a $5 tip from Guitar Player 1939. Guitar Player, it's always great to hear from you. Thank you for the tip. Let's see what Guitar Player's up to. Guitar Player says, I finally beat Persona 5 Royal last night. It's a great game, and I highly recommend it to anyone who hasn't played it. There you go. I recommend baseline Persona 5. I didn't play Royal. I heard Royal has more content, a new character, a new plot line and everything. Cool. I'm sure it's great. I agree. It's a great game. Thank you, Guitar Player. All right. I received a $29.99 tip from Game Trekker. Thank you to Game Trekker. And Game Tracker says the following. No new tips at the moment, no matter which character you pick today. Instead, I'll elaborate a bit on a tip that I gave you before your last Blanca stream. I talked about stun. So, when you read the tip live, you revealed that you really don't know how stun is in the game. You're right. I haven't had yet a chance to watch all your Blanca matches from the day, but I did see most of them. You still didn't seem to be recognizing when a stun had happened, so I'll make it extra clear. Yeah, I did. That's something now that I got to become more conscious of. It's one of a million new things that's in this game, right? And at first, I thought it was all the same. I thought, oh, if you hit him with drive impact, that's the same as the wall bounce. I didn't even realize that there was the corner dizzy stun until like a week ago, and I started noticing. I was like, wait a minute. That's totally different than the other one, but I didn't understand the properties of it, okay? So let's see what he has to say. So, if your opponent is in burnout, meaning they have no drive meter, and you wall splat them, the game will freeze for a moment and they'll go into a special stun state. The game will even say stun on the side of the screen, okay? Unlike in other Street Fighter games, mashing does not shorten the stun. The fighter will stand in place for about 3 seconds before falling over. Excuse me. See if you can recognize when this happens today. Take advantage of that by using a jumping attack to initiate your follow-up combo. So basically, if you do a normal wall bounce, but they still have drive meter, they'll just be stunned for a second. They'll create like a juggle state. You get a couple hits in, you can do a corner combo, but usually not an extended one. If they already are burned out and then you do the wall bounce, they'll be in an extended dizzy state, in which case you could do a neutral jump and do an extended combo, right? And get more damage. Gotcha. Plus, because they're not juggling, it actually means that you could do more damage because the combo's from when they're in a standing position. The other one, they're more like a falling position. So because of that, it doesn't let you get all the hits in. You're right. So you're absolutely right. Now I need to pay attention. I do. Yet another thing. I mean, this game, I've said this before, I actually feel Street Fighter 6 is the most difficult and most complex fighting game I've ever played. It has so many things to it. It has 6 or 7 things just with the drive meter that were all new. Now you've got these stun mechanics, wall bounce mechanics, all these new things. And it's tough. For someone like me who hasn't been into competitive fighting games for a long time, to learn all these systems has been very challenging and daunting for me, but I'm trying to do my best, so. Okay, continuing on. Excuse me. I can't stop burping. My next tip is a $10 tip. And this one is from Tarantula MS. He says, hey, you Phil, what's going on, Tarantula? It's good to have you. How have you been doing? Haven't actively seen you much on the streams, but I hope you're doing very well. And I thank you for your support. Awesome. Thank you, Tarantula. Hope you're having a good day. Maybe you'll be around for the Zangief gameplay. I don't know if you're interested, but thank you. Cool. All right. I received a $4.20 tip from Geef for Life, who says, please play Geef or I will suplex you. Well, that is very alarming. How would you suplex me? Because, you know, I'm at home right now. My doors are locked. Are you saying that you're going to burst in my door, run into my office, and live on stream suplex me here on stream? That's incredibly disturbing, actually. I think I might have to alert the authorities that someone is on the way. But anyway, I appreciate the tip. And actually, it looks like I'm playing with Zangief because it seems like that's what people want. So, alrighty then. Maybe I will avoid the suplex. Check the walls. Shit. I gotta check my... Hold on. I gotta check my closet. Ha-ha! Okay, there's no one in here. There's no one in the closet. Thankfully. I thought there might be someone hiding in there, you know? Whew. Okay. Continuing on. All right. I received a $1 tip from Snow Carl. He says, he's saying he saw a... This doesn't even make sense. All right, Snow Carl, what you're saying doesn't even make sense. I'm not even going to address it. Really, what he said is nonsensical, and it's basically, it's fishing for drama, and it's stupid. So I'm not even going to answer it because it's just dumb. It's not even factually true. It's him trying to create a situation that's not happening, and Snow Carl does this from time to time. So Snow Carl, thanks for the $1. No thanks. All right. We've now hit $100 in tips. So, I think we're going to have a hat. The question is, what hat would you guys want today? I don't know. What hat would go well for today? First of all, it cannot be a distracting hat. I can't be wearing like the Bender hat. I can't be wearing the Pikachu hat. It has to be something that's a normal, lighter hat for today. I guess maybe we could do the Ryu headband. We could do the Los Santos cap isn't bad. It's very comfortable on my head. I'm trying to think like what are the most comfortable hats that wouldn't be intrusive for Street Fighter. Let's here we go. Let's start a poll. So let's do, here we go. Which hat is Zangief best? We could do the Los Santos cap, the fake hair hat with the frosted tips. We could do crap. The Ryu headband, or we could do, what else wouldn't be intrusive? Hold on. Oh, the beret. I've not worn the beret in a long time. The beret's been like weeks and weeks. I can't remember the last time I wore the beret. Okay, there you go. I think none of those hats, hopefully none of those would be intrusive. If they are, just so you guys know, when I'm playing Street Fighter, if something's bugging me, I'm going to take it off. I don't care if it's glasses, a hat, fuck it. The gameplay comes first. So if it's becoming intrusive, it's annoying me, if I'm getting heated and I'm itchy and shit, I'm taking it off. All right? But I'll at least put it on to start. So please vote. Okay. All right. I received another $1 tip from Snow Carl. What do you think of Kick? Why aren't you multi-streaming over there? Did you consider switching over? Why would I switch? What is wrong with what I'm doing on YouTube for the last over 2 years exactly? Right? I've built a community here. People know where to find me. People know where all my content is. I enjoy YouTube. I enjoy its monetization options. I don't have any problems. So why would I stream on Kick? Right? I don't get it. Why split the audience? If you have a central place where you could do all your content and people are happy with that and people know where to find you, right? And everything's going good, why would you then say, oh, I think I would like to start doing stuff elsewhere? Why? If there were problems, like for example, if I was streaming on Twitch still, and I was noticing all these problems going on with Twitch, the monetization was getting worse, the moderation was bad, and I was like, man, the writing's on the wall, people got to get out of here, then I would go stream on Kick. That's literally exactly what's happening. People are fed up with Twitch, they don't like the business, no surprise, because I said a million times over the years that business was on the way out, no one listened, but now they're actually seeing it for themselves, right? And now people are trying out Kick and liking it. They're like, oh, this is a viable alternative, correct? So, but I don't need to go to Kick. I like where I am here on YouTube. I'm good. I'm having good times with the streams. I could stream at very high quality here on YouTube, as you guys know. Way better than I was ever able to do over on Twitch. And I would guarantee, I don't know what Kick's limitations are. I don't know if they have those kind of limitations or not, right? So, there you go. That's why. If there was a reason, like if all of a sudden YouTube started instituting a bunch of changes that I didn't like, right? Limitations, changes to the system, how it all works. I'd be like, oh shit, all right, I don't like this. I'm gonna consider, you know, maybe co-streaming on Kick. We'll try it out. Why would I do that if I like how things are going, right? And again, streaming here, I have all my content in one spot. You know, if you want any gameplay from me, you go to DSPGaming. You like React content, you go to DSP Reacts. Now, oh, you can find this stream on YouTube here. You can find this stream on Kick here. You can find this content here, this content here. Now you're all over the place. No one knows where to go, right? So there you go. Arkham says, why do you have sunglasses on? You're not outside. In reality, this ring light is pretty bright. But I've kind of just gotten used to it over the course of the year since I started using it. It's pretty darn bright. It was funny because when I started playing Amnesia the other night, people were saying things like, why don't you turn all the lights off in your room? I was like, they are off. They're like, what are you talking about? I was like, literally every light in this room is off. The only lights that are on are the ring light, the ambient LED strip on the floor, and I guess you could argue this lamp, but there is no actual lights on in the office. The ceiling light and the lamp over there are off. But this light is bright in order to make, you know, the lighting good for the camera. That's why it looks like that. And people were like, well, turn it off. I was like, turn it off. This is what it would look like. You ready? Hi, everyone. Hello? Is anyone there? What's going on? Hello? Anyone still there? As you can see, it doesn't look nearly as good, right? Like, you can barely see me. I mean, could I play a game like this? I could, but you would barely be able to see me, you know? So that's why you need the ring light, okay? You really do. Okay. All right. I forgot what we were talking about. I totally forgot. What were we talking about? Tomorrow's your Independence Day. I'm glad to hear that, Juan. I hope you have a good day. By the way, that's all the shout-outs. We've done all the shout-outs, so now we can do some Q&A. What is going on, Jade? He says, sup. So, Zangief today, Friday, Luke and Lily. Yes, that sounds like a plan, doesn't it? Sounds like a plan. Zangief today, Friday, Luke and Lily. I don't know what order they'll play them, but that's what it's sounding like. Yes. Okay. You can open the light from your window. No, I can't. My blinds are broken. My blinds don't work. I can't pull up my blinds. They don't go up. The only thing I could do is during the daytime, I could try to, like, wedge them open, but I have an air conditioner in, so they're already skewed to the side. It basically, I don't have a functional window here. It sucks. I just don't. The fucking thing's all fucked up. David says, do you see all new handheld gaming systems needing to have replaceable batteries in Europe by 2027? By European Union regulations, they want batteries recyclable. No, but that's interesting because, as you know, there are many things right now that don't have that. The Switch does not have a replaceable battery. Cell phones do not have replaceable batteries, at least to the consumer. I mean, you could open a cell phone. If you have like an expert, you go to like a shop and they'll do it for you. But yeah, I guess what's happening is you're right. There's a new European Union regulation that in 4 years, every device needs to have a replaceable battery so that they can be recycled. So you're not throwing out the device and the battery goes to a landfill. So that's interesting. And that might change a lot. It really might. I guess we'll have to see. Am I going to play Remnant 2? No, I didn't play Remnant 1. I'm not interested in Remnant 2. No, I'm not going back to Call of Duty at this point. The new Call of Duty is a few months around the corner. Will I probably check it out? Yeah, let's face it. Every year I end up checking out the new Call of Duty. But I have no plans on playing Modern Warfare 2 again. Thank you. Ghost says, cool clothes you got on. Cool. Arkham says, people like to watch people play scary games in the dark. I understand that. I do. I really do. But, you know, I don't think it would have worked for Amnesia. We could have tried, but people didn't really care. I was like, you know, if we turn off this light, you're not going to see well. They were like, all right, whatever. It's not, you know, if there was a big demand, if everyone was screaming at me, I would have considered it, but I don't really care either way. E. Their name is a bunch of E's. Do you have any tips when getting spam locked in the corner with Zangief? I bought Street Fighter 6 yesterday and I got stuck in Diamond even though I've never played a fighting game before. You're screwed. Hate to say it, you're kind of screwed. Zangief is one of the worst characters for getting out of the corner in this game. He does not have an actual true reversal move that has invincibility. So he has to rely on the enemy making a mistake. And if you just started playing the game, you're not going to understand when an enemy is making a mistake. So, yeah, it sounds like the placement screwed you over, and you're going to have to lose, like, dozens and dozens of matches to get all the way down to, like, low platinum or even gold before you're going to be able to do anything. That's terrible that you got into Diamond and you don't know what you're doing. That's really bad. I wish I had advice for you, but no, he's actually one of the worst characters for it. I mean, the best way to get out of the corner with Geef is to not get in the corner with Geef and stay playing from mid-screen and stopping that from happening, which isn't, you can't explain it, you got to play good, you know? Okay. How many of the Mega Man X games have I played? You guys can answer that because I did a Mega Man marathon like a decade ago, and I played a lot of the classic Mega Man X's. I think I got through like 4 or 5 of them. I got into the PS1 ones, and once I got to like the second PS1 game, I couldn't play them anymore. I couldn't stand it. They are like, dude, these are so bad compared to the originals, which are like classics. Once they started, you know, veering off the path of not even being like a Mega Man game anymore, I was like, dude, I can't play these. They really were annoying me. But you can find that out for yourself. Just search on this channel, and you'll find the playthroughs. No, I've never ridden a pony. My favorite season is probably the fall, but I do like winter too, but probably the fall because that's when the weather turns. We get a lot more rain and precipitation. When I get to take my air conditioner out of the window, open the window and get cool air coming in the window, that's really nice. And you get rain and there's like nice moist air and you get cool fall events and things. You know, I like leaves. I like the idea of like, you know, pumpkins, pumpkin spice everything. You know, you get cool fall activities going on. You got Halloween. I like all of that, you know. Winter, I love winter, but the problem with winter is sometimes you get inclement weather. You get the snow and the ice, and that kind of sucks. Outside of that, though, like the holidays are great. My favorite time of year is the holidays. No, we're not playing Jackbox. I answered this for you the other day, Ayana. I don't know why you're asking again. I have no intention of playing Jackbox. I don't even know why you're bringing it up. Who cares about that? Will I make a tier maker of favorite mini games for Yakuza? Probably not specifically the mini games of Yakuza, no. Maybe I would rank the Yakuza games in general, but probably not just the mini games. Big Papa Phil says, now that you have some extended time with Street Fighter 6, can you explain a major reason why the game is fun as opposed to Street Fighter 5, which may have to be the most hated Street Fighter ever? Sure. I mean, there's a million reasons. At launch, the game had a ridiculous amount of content. Well, at launch, Street Fighter 5 had literally no content at all. This game has a little something for everyone, whether you're a newbie, whether you're a pro, hardened pro, whether you're looking to be competitive, whether you don't care about competition. The game is the most user-friendly, accessible fighting game ever, in my opinion, with the way that they've set it up with the modern controls and everything. Anyone can play this game and enjoy it. Seriously. It actually worked at launch. Street Fighter 5 did not work at launch. It was a joke. This game worked perfectly at launch. It has arguably the best netcode ever seen in an online fighting game. For me, the real reason I like Street Fighter 6, I'll tell you, because unlike Street Fighter 5, this game can be played in a variety of methods and ways. The character builds feel unique and different, and it's not just about mastering one pattern and playing the game ad nauseum with that pattern. In this game, certain characters don't even really have a pattern, while others do. I would argue the top tiers, because they're so good with their normals and their rushdown and their stuff, you can play them as patterns and win a lot. But other characters, you can't do that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's good to see that there's variety in gameplay. You've got pure keep away characters. You've got pure rushdown characters. You've got hybrids. You got characters that can be played in one way perfectly well and succeed, but then be played in a completely different way and still be perfectly well and succeed. I have seen Dalsin played as a up-close mix-up rushdown character. I've also seen Dalsin played as a complete keep away character, and it works both ways. Do you see? That is the key to a good fighting game. Seriously. Absolutely. And that's what Street Fighter 5 didn't have. In Street Fighter 5, it was like, here's your character, learn the one pattern, just play it that way every time and win, or fuck it up and lose. And that's it. There's like nothing to it. It wasn't until like maybe the last 2 years of the game where the game finally was rebalanced enough and changed a bit that it felt like a real Street Fighter game. But back then, you're already talking 3-4 years into the game for it to be even a semblance of good. But the problem there is so stupid that people just put up with it because they were so deathly afraid that if they didn't support Street Fighter 5, that Street Fighter would die forever. So they just kept playing it. They kept throwing money at it. You have a whole generation of gamers now that only have played Street Fighter 5, and they actually think that's what fighting games are. So they're playing Street Fighter 6 like that. And look at the people I'm playing in Diamond rank who don't understand the basics of a fighting game. They don't know what footsies are, what spacing, what neutral is. They don't understand how to react to anything. They just play a pattern. And if you beat their pattern, they fold. They're done. They can't do anything because they never played a real fighting game. They just played a pattern game in Street Fighter 5. Sad. Sad that a whole generation of gamers now have to relearn what fighting games are because they were told wrong by the last one because it was a piece of dog shit. So there you go. I hope that explains. Yes, I have sang on a stage before, in high school. Do I think Capcom will ever fix pattern Kens? Fix pattern Kens? I don't know if you can fix it. You're always going to have people who do that, who play a pattern and it kind of works because the character is kind of overpowered. They can try to rebalance Ken, or they can try to add more tools to stop Ken, but I don't think they can fix the problem of people playing him in a pattern, no. Let's see here. B-Boy Cyclone says, I'd love to see a excuse me. I'd love to see a reaction to some of your first Street Fighter 5 matches ever. The lag and the problems were just crazy for that time. Yeah, I remember. You remember how hype I was for Street Fighter 5? Because Street Fighter 4 was a game that gave me major prominence on YouTube in the years of 2009 and 2010. Literally, I got tens of thousands of people who followed me just for Street Fighter because they liked my coverage. And so I stepped away from that for many years. And then when Street Fighter V was coming out, I was like, I'm reinvesting my efforts into this. I bought a joystick specifically just to play the game. I did, I got everything ready. And the game was complete shit at launch. It was such a joke. I was like, I've never seen a worse fighting game launch ever in my life. Not once have I seen a fighting game launch more incomplete and more broken than I saw with Street Fighter V. And this is supposed to be the prominent game series that started it all. The big, momentous, name-dropping series. You hear Street Fighter? That's a fighting game, bro. And then it's the worst one. Like, that was just pathetic. In reality, I firmly believe that's why Ono lost his job. That's got to be why. If you look at all his other failures, he had a ton, but that's got to be the biggest one. Like, how do you fuck up the most notable fighting game series of all time and not know it was going to be so fucked up at launch? You've had to be an idiot. Anyway, I got another tip here. I got a $10 tip from Pug. Who's your favorite Street Fighter character? Of all time, probably Blanka, because he is the weirdo character that doesn't look like a normal human. I mean, not to say that an Indian man who can stretch his limbs is a normal human, but you understand what I'm saying. Like, each character is kind of based on someone in a real culture. Blanka is a fucking green electric monster. I think that's so wild that he's in a fighting game like that. I've always liked that he's just a weird character. Thing is, Blanka's almost never good. It's a rarity. He almost sucks in every game he's ever been in. So I definitely have enjoyed having Blanka be good in Street Fighter 6, at least for these early months. He might not be good long term, you know what I'm saying? But I am definitely enjoying him. So, okay. Tarantula became a member for 25 months. Thank you, Tarantula. These are re-ups. The Gamer Man and the Tarantula were re-ups, so that's why I'm not adding them as new members to the channel. By the way, the goal today, by the end of today, 540 members. I know we can hit that. That would be great if we could. Again, I said today we have way more people on stream than usual. It would be great to get some gifted memberships. If you so choose to support the channel in that way, thank you in advance. That would be stupendous. Okay. All right. Okay, we got to get ready to start, or else we're going to lose critical time here to play, all right? I'll take off the sunglasses now. Thank you all for a great podcast. I appreciate that very much. I had a good time with all of you here today, and it looks like people have voted for the fake hair hat. That's the hat you guys want today. All right. Although this does kind of trump the idea of me having the different hair, but it's fine. It looks so silly. Does anyone believe this is my real hair? Probably not. It's not bad. It's a pretty comfortable hat, actually, all in all. So, very nice. Mark McGrath. Yeah, you're right. It is Mark McGrath hair. You're absolutely right. I'd say it's Mark McGrath, not Guy Fieri, because Guy Fieri has the blonde shit. But yeah, this is kind of like Mark McGrath's hair, I guess. Yeah. There you go. All right, guys, thank you for a great podcast. I can't get the right temperature in here either. It's either too cold or too hot. I can't get the right level. Anyway, thank you all. I hope that you guys have enjoyed the show. And thanks. Great news today. Relaxing with you guys today. I always enjoy it. I hope that you'll have a good day tomorrow. I won't be here. Whatever you do, relax, have fun, have a good one. And I'll be back on Friday with more Street Fighter fun for all of you. And, of course, I'll be telling you about my day off and all the shenanigans that happen. So, thanks, my friends, for a great streaming week. Thanks for watching. Thanks for chilling. See you Friday. Peace out.